Assalamualaikum everybody, this is Naila.
And this is Sehreen.
Welcome to our podcast, The Muslim Girl Chat, where we take on lives from two young Muslim girls.
We're just two young Muslim girls from their early to mid-20s, and we talk about different topics as well as our own personal experiences. So let's girl chat. Salaam everyone, it's Sehreen, and I'm back here today with my family member, Naila.
Hello, Assalamualaikum everybody. Sorry, force of habit. I hope everyone's doing well. And if you actually came back to listen to our second podcast, thank you. And we hope that you actually followed us on Instagram or something. I don't know. Interact with us in any way. But seriously, thank you if you took the time to listen to our first podcast and you came back for the second one.
Yes, and if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Instagram as well.
And like we said in the last podcast, we haven't made SoundCloud yet, but we're going to be adding on additional places where you guys can listen to our podcast soon, inshallah. But as of right now, it's just going to be YouTube. So yeah, feel free to share. Anyways, so let's get started. I kind of kick us off right here. Today, I actually met up with one of my middle school friends. I've been friends with her, best friends with her since middle school, since 8th grade. And we went to high school together, we went to middle school together, and then sadly we didn't go to college together, but alhamdulillah, we've been in contact with each other throughout college. And she's one of the few friends from high school that I'm still in contact with. And I'm really grateful for her. I don't want to say her name or anything. I don't think she'll listen to this, but just for the sake of her privacy. Anyways, so mashallah, recently she got engaged, I think a couple months back. And I was one of the first people she told that she got, when she got engaged, she called me up. And today we were having dinner, and so officially today she asked me to be her bridesmaid, which was such an honor and stuff. And it was so much I kind of expected it. God, I hope she doesn't listen to this. I kind of expected it though, because we've been best friends for a long time, and I want her to be one of my bridesmaids. And we've always said we're best friends, and we've always had such a good connection, and we're here for each other.
Absolutely. Nyla was actually telling me a couple of weeks ago, I actually really hope I'm part of that crew. So I'm so happy for you. Oh my gosh.
I know. I was I hope.
Oh my gosh, what was your reaction?
I didn't know if I was gonna I thought there was a chance I was gonna become a bridesmaid. I kind of didn't, and I was if anything, because the second time she hit me up during winter break. I kind of thought she was gonna ask me tonight, so I kind of expected it, but I was I don't think I am a bridesmaid, because she was very low key about it last time we talked about it. And then we were talking about her fiance's tuxes, and how he has to do a showroom where he makes all the tuxes and they can be sent to his groomsmen. Okay. And then she was and I asked her about her bridesmaid, and she was on that note, and she handed me a box, and it said, "Will you be my bridesmaid?" and it had a candle inside there.
Oh.
It was pretty, and the scent was champagne and strawberries, and it was a really pretty scent. And I said yes, and I gave her a hug, and it was so sweet. And then got into the topic, or we started talking about what I should be expected of as a bridesmaid and stuff. After I said yes, what I should know so far for the wedding. I know all the details pretty much for her wedding, because I've asked so many questions.
Oh my gosh.
And so she gave me all the details and stuff, and I'll spare you those details. But pretty much we got to the topic of, because I asked her this the last time we had dinner. I asked her, I was what kind of dresses would your bridesmaids wear? And she was I actually want my bridesmaids to wear different kinds of dresses, not all the same dresses.
Yes.
I think I told you about that, Sehreen. I told you it was different kinds of dresses, which I was
I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, you didn't know that? Okay, I thought I told you that. Well, and that and I was if I become a bridesmaid, that clears up my worry, because then I get to pick out the dress I get to wear.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's such a worry as a Muslim girl.
Yes.
For what you gotta wear for that.
Literally, I was oh God.
They're pretty, sometimes they're just more revealing than what we wear personally, so I get it.
So when she gave me the box and we started talking about the dresses and stuff, she was I actually have a showroom for my bridesmaids. And she was and this is what I wanted to talk about, because when I tell you, I don't think I've it just shows like she pays attention to detail because I don't think I've ever like maybe I've said this once or twice, but I don't think it was her I said this to. I've talked about like I think it's pretty obvious I don't wear like shorts or like tank tops or
Yeah.
anything like that. And so like so when she was about to show me my dress, she was like, I know like you like to cover up. Like she literally said that. She said, I know it's preferred for you to cover up in like different areas. So when I was looking for your dress, I made sure to look out for that. And it kind of just shocked me because I was like, I don't
That's
think
so
I've ever
sweet.
said that to you.
Uh,
Like, I didn't say that to her, but I was just like, wow, like, not everyone recognizes that. But maybe I did say something to her, but I really don't remember if I did or not.
mm-hmm. That's
So,
so respectful of her,
yeah,
though.
I was like, mashallah, I was like, wow. And I like felt so respected. And
Yeah, not everyone does that.
not everyone does that.
Yeah.
Not everyone respects like different religions and stuff. And alhamdulillah, I've been in an area and like grew up in an area
Yeah.
where people do respect Muslims, and most people are very kind towards us. I maybe had like have had one or two people in my life be like, "Oh, are you gonna like as a Muslim like?" And they like insult Islam. I don't want to say what it is and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, have you ever had an experience where people do insult Islam?
For sure, like they'll be like, "Oh, you can't date?" I'll be like, "Yeah." Like, what's the problem with
It
that?
wasn't in. Oh my God, that's a whole different topic. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's just like they'll just like I mean, that's just an example, but same thing for clothing a little bit. Like one time, senior year of high school, I had a body sculpting class. Anyways, I always wore a long sleeve shirt and long pants just because. And this girl was just like one time like, aren't you hot in that? And I was like, no, I'm fine. Like literally, I was used to it. I'm fine. They were like, man, I would be dying. And I was like, that's fine for you, but I'm fine with it. I'm literally fine with it. So,
Yeah, I'm
you know,
like,
it's just
if
like,
it's not like, why worry you? Like, if you don't mind it, then
yeah, like literally, like you don't have to worry for me, but I get it. Like, but wait, I want to know what did she show you?
so she showed me the dress, and oh my God, it was so pretty. I don't have a picture of it, but it's so pretty, and like it was like perfect. She was like, "But Nyla, if there's anything wrong with the dress, like literally, it's not gonna hurt my feelings. Whatever is like comfortable for you to wear, like let me know. I can change it. Like even if you change your mind after this, like let me know." And like it was perfect. Like there was no V-neck. It was like
Give us
everything was
the
up,
tea. What
and
was it?
like
Long sleeve?
it wasn't long sleeve, it was short sleeve, but it was good and like it was so beautiful. Like it's so pretty
It's
and like
long.
yeah, it's long.
What color is it?
It's it's like a burgundy. It's like garnet or
Oh,
burgundy.
okay. Okay, so what does she want? Does she want burgundy all her bridesmaids or just different
Yeah,
colors?
I think let me make sure it's burgundy, like the color.
The one you're wearing right now is burgundy, right?
Yeah, it's like this color except more like girly. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it's like this color, like a little bit. But it's really pretty and like it's more purpley to be honest, purple reddish, and like it's really pretty. Like I actually really liked it.
Gosh, I'm so happy for you. Okay, wait, so is this how she's working this out? Like she's gonna buy it for you or you have to buy it?
No, so we have to buy the dresses ourselves, which is fine. It's a really pretty dress and stuff, and I've already talked to my parents. Well, I talked to my mom about it,
Is
but
it
like it's so
expensive?
pretty and like oh my God, it was like gorgeous, and I was like just like the fact that like she even recognized like that I do cover up and like I'm not necessarily
Yeah, that's
okay with
beautiful.
like wearing certain things. It just shows that people actually pay attention to detail and people do respect your decisions and stuff. Like why
They
should we
really
judge?
do.
Like it's
That's so
crazy.
funny. Yeah. Actually, that's so funny because that's actually something I think about all the time for like my friends that are not Muslim. Like what am I if I'm their bridesmaid, what am I gonna wear? And I always imagine myself with the cardigan and tights on that little
Yes.
dress. And like I was like, man, because some people, but yeah.
Some people forget. Some people are like too busy and too consumed into like their wedding planning, which is fine, but like it's also your concern, and then sometimes it's a hassle. Like, what if all
Yeah.
the bridesmaids were wearing the same dress? Like, what if that was the case? Like, what if they were all wearing the same dress and like it was all like
Interesting.
V-neck or like
Okay.
where you can see your shoulders? Like, I'm really grateful that like she decided to like
I love that.
yeah, like different dresses for everyone, just same color.
Okay, cool. Oh my gosh. Um, going off of that, not off, but on that topic, there's like I've seen like I actually respect this. Like I respect when they allow you to be a little more free rather than choosing the exact same dress for every bridesmaid, because like a lot of people end up hating it, you know? Like I've seen so
Yeah.
many things where like people are just like, no. But I like those weddings where like I've seen them. They have a theme, a certain theme. So this one person I know, she for her wedding, her bridesmaids, they all just had to wear pastel colors. They could choose their own dresses though. So it was like lavender and like light
Oh,
green, light blue, and it looked so nice. And I was like, it's all different. They could wear whatever they wanted, and it was just like, and I appreciate that like. I mean, no hate on people that like they want a certain thing for their wedding. I get it. Like I could be Bradzilla too, so you know I really feel. But I think
yeah.
that's so respectful though for the Muslim, for people who look out for their more conservative friends, because I've actually seen that in some certain scenarios as well. That's like they'll be like, no, some people will literally just be like, no, I'm the bride, like you need to wear what I want to wear.
Yeah.
She was so
Oh my
sweet.
God. I was just like really like taken back by that. Like she's such a sweet person, mashallah. And like I was just like, oh my God. I was like, thank you. Like I literally thanked her. I was like, thank you for like looking out for that. Not everyone would do that, you know?
Exactly. I know that's so considerate. That's a good friend, like right there.
Yeah, like literally I was like, thank you and stuff. And like, y'all don't worry, she's gonna be a bridesmaid at my wedding. Like, shh.
Oh, I love that. So who's the maid of honor?
I
Like
know.
both of my sister-in-law.
Literally.
Wait, who though?
I don't know. I don't think I'll have a maid of honor because I'm so close to people, you know?
Yeah, I feel like you're close to a lot of
Everyone's just kind
people.
of on the same level.
Yeah, I feel like you wouldn't be able to, cause you. Oh, I was just about to list out all the names. But yeah.
But yeah, but like,
Uh,
yeah, it's
Pretty
really good.
cool.
Like, I'm happy for her and all, so I'm really excited. I
Oh,
still haven't met her fiance, which is crazy. He knows who I am though, and I know who he is. Like, we follow each other on Instagram, but like, um, I haven't met him yet, and he's like we want to meet each other because he needs the approval from me.
okay. Well, that's how it be sometimes.
I know, but it makes me so happy. They're so cute, mashallah.
So
Like,
cute.
Sehreen, have I shown you like their engagement?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. How adorable. Mashallah.
I know, it's
I
crazy.
love love.
Oh, can't relate, but yeah, same.
I know. Just no. You don't have to relate. You just like I like hearing other people's journeys with love. It's fun.
We stand love. But
I
yeah,
know.
that's all I wanted to say. It was just like really
I love
sweet.
that. I absolutely love that. That like she was so respectful and so courteous about that.
Yeah,
Mashallah.
I know. Has anybody, if you have had like an experience like that where people have been like very considerate to you as a Muslim or even as like a different like religion, like if they have been considerate you for you like in some kind of way, put it in the comments below. Like,
Oh yes.
I want to know. Like,
Drop
I,
it below. Actually, one of our family member, actually one of our family members, she, actually, a younger, uh, mm, actually a younger cousin of mine, she has one friend that is very respectful towards, her religion, and he'll like purposely like not try to get too close to her and stuff like that. You know, like yeah. So basically, like he'll like be very respectful and he'll apologize if he thinks that he's like pushing too much or something about something, or but he never does. Like he doesn't have that personality, which I think is so sweet. And I just really admire those people who are very respectful towards other religions and other like beliefs and stuff, because some people are literally like what I said, some people just are not tolerant at all. So you know,
yeah.
tolerant, I don't believe
And like,
like that. It doesn't, tolerant doesn't mean you have to believe in what, like you just have to, you just like, you don't necessarily have to believe the same thing as the other person, but you have to be able to live with it, you know, and
mhm.
respect and have respect for people who are different than you. Like not everyone's the same.
And like
So
the fact, like, ooh, it's also amazing when people are like, they know, they understand, like, they acknowledge, like, if like a certain person can't do something. Like, I think like with one of like my cousins, like, she was talking about how like she's a huge fan of BTS, and like she was talking about how like at a meet and greet, one of them was like, oh, don't touch. It was a hijabi, and they were like, oh, don't like touch her or hug her. Like,
oh, okay.
and like
So
our like my
sweet.
cousin told me about that, and I was like, that's good. Like people that are educated about like like different
Yes.
things. And like I don't think some people may not understand like why we can't touch like other people, but it's just like it's for the
Yeah, some people may think it's so extreme and like
but it's
blah blah
not. It's
blah.
if you look at it from like, for example, like a point of
Those
view
people are
of
ignorant,
marriage,
in my
like
opinion.
imagine that like you get your nikah, which is an Islamic contract, when you can like Islamically, like you're Islamically married and stuff, okay? Like imagine like that first touch, like that's so romantic. Like
I know, exactly. And it's like so worth it, like at the end, you
yeah.
know, for staying halal. So I love that. Also, um, I don't, I think this is the first time we're mentioning this, but Nyla and I have a obsession with Ariana Grande.
Oh heck yeah. We
Yeah,
I
so bringing
agree.
her in, I've also seen some tweets from her where she like supports Muslims, and I love that. Like that just makes me love her even more.
I
And
know,
it's
because
like, yeah,
think especially in like today's society, I'm always kind of like looking out for like those who like support like it's really rare honestly when I see people support Muslims because I think they're so like sometimes afraid of them
absolutely,
and stuff. So when I see like people that have platforms to, like support Muslims, I'm like thank you because like literally
exactly.
Islam means peace. It literally
Yeah,
these
literally.
people are doing in different countries, killing innocent people. They're not Muslim. Like literally,
Exactly. Oh my
yeah.
God.
Like
Wait, are
we
you
don't
going off
believe
of
that. Like us
Ari?
as genuine Muslims that were born Muslim, even if converts that like became Muslim, they don't believe that these are Muslims that are killing innocent lives. That
Exactly.
does not represent Islam and it should not represent Islam.
Literally, exactly. That's so Wait, are you going off of Ari's thing that she said?
Oh no, I didn't what'd she say?
That's exactly what she said. She was like, she's like, terrorism doesn't represent one religion. Like
Yes,
it's not
love
based on a religion. And she was like supporting Muslims. She was like, not all Muslims are terrorists, blah blah blah. And like I was just like, thank you for saying that. Like she has such a large
you.
audience, and I
Like
feel
just
like
take advantage of your platform. Like for
literally,
you to do that, I know she supports a lot of like different like groups of people, like the LGBTQ community. It's like different like races and
yeah.
she's very
See,
open
that's the thing.
and
Like
that's amazing. And I think we need more people like that in this world. I think we're like, there's so many bad things happening in this world right now. Like, I mean, I know we say this, we need to start putting this in action. You say you want love, then start representing and showing love and
oh yes,
speak.
speak, girl. Yes, yes,
Like,
yes. Yeah, like basically, I mean, the general idea of it, like that's absolutely right. Like you need to be going back to like you just need to be able to be tolerant of other people's
yeah,
beliefs
like,
and
and I think like, and I've talked to you about this before. I think technology and like the advancement of it has made it like worse and stuff. Because I mean, it's great that people are able to say their opinions, but sometimes the opinions hurt, and sometimes
yeah,
bluntness hurt. And when people are not educated themselves on different topics, and you're just saying stuff like you
that's what I'm saying.
know,
Like based on their assumptions, like it's like that's when I think like pretending you have knowledge when you really don't is just very weak. Like you at least have the facts, like at least go look into it and then
yeah,
believe it. But it's like
not
blindly
everyone does.
believing it.
And alhamdulillah, like I have people in my life that are non-Muslim as well, and they genuinely like ask me questions about Islam because they want to
Yeah.
know, you know, and things like that. I think also even though this was part of our last podcast topic, I think also one of my goals this year is to like not be so like shy about like what my religion represents. Like I'm not shy, but I'm not as spoken up about it as I should be. And
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to a podcast talking to you about this the other day, and like hijabi or not, okay, so in the podcast they were talking about hijabis. They were like, as a hijabi, you're basically an advocate for Islam. You're basically like people are gonna come to you and ask you questions probably, and you should be so confident in your religion and know so much about it that you're able to advocate for Islam very well. And
Yeah.
like for
Mhm.
me, like personally, like
Exactly.
I want to
Like,
be even
yeah.
as a non-hijabi. I'm non-hijabi by the way, like I think if you're hijabi or not, whether you're Muslim, if you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, whatever religion, you should be able to advocate for your religion as much as you can. Like as a Muslim,
Absolutely. Like people should be able to look at you and be like, "Oh, that girl's Muslim." Like, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Like, like I know a lot of people like going on to hijab, like what you said, like hijab represents modesty and it represents Islam, and I think like people looking at that, like that's another topic, but like they may assume things, but at the end of the day, like the most basic thing it represents is Islam.
Mhm.
Oh, that girl is Muslim. So, and I think that's really beautiful that we have a symbol of that, you know?
Yeah, and
So,
it's great. I think
and
like
yeah, it's a
and like
good representation of our
hijab
like
is
it's
beautiful, honestly, by the way.
yeah,
Like hijab, like to conceal your one's beauty, like
absolutely.
and to always share that beauty with only so many people.
I know. Okay, so To me, hijab, it's not just about covering up. Like hijab goes for both men and women. Like men should also observe hijab, like in
Agree.
terms of lowering their gaze and like biting their tongue and just remaining modest in their way. Same thing goes for girls. Like it's not hijab is not a piece of clothing. Like that may be the literal term, but in like Islamic terms, like it's much more. It's like a much broader concept, So I think everyone needs to observe it. It's very important, like to grasp that. Like it's just a very important part of Islam. So
I think also to do with self-respect. Like,
yeah,
I mean that, but also for the sake that you're doing this for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're doing it for him. I mean, yes, you're doing it for you, but you're doing it for him. You're covering up for him.
exactly. You're not doing it for anyone else, and I don't appreciate when people, like when they're forcing someone to do something Islamic, like whether it be anything, like hijab or even like I don't know. Yeah, basically, yeah, just anything in, Islamically because I feel like it can do the opposite effect on them. It can make them turn away from Islam if you're forcing them. Like they
Mhm.
need to, I think there's a part of Islam that you also have to realize on your own.
Yeah.
Like there's a part where you grow up with it, what you're taught, but there has to be a point where you grow from it on your own and you have to try to learn. And
Exactly. Wearing the hijab should not be something you should be forced to do. You need to learn. That's what I'm saying. Like when I was listening to that podcast, they were like, there's a lot of things you should do before like wearing the hijab, Like you should be able to like know so much about Islam where you're confident in your religion. So that way you're so confident in your religion you can stay with wearing the hijab because you're learning the beauty and importance of like concealing your beauty and like modesty and like respecting yourself, but most importantly you're wearing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And like you should know that like you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you do anything for him and stuff. And like I think that's like what's so beautiful about it.
So interesting that like I totally understand like the way you see it. It's funny. I have like the opposite opinion.
Oh
Not
really?
the opposite. No, like I agree with the latter part of what you said, but the first part is like I do not believe personally for myself that hijab has to come after you've perfected yourself or something like that, or that you're like I think it just has to be when you're at a certain mindset. You don't have to be a hafiz
No, I
for
think I think
hijab.
in general, I think you should just be confident in the position that you're in.
Exactly. Like you shouldn't do it for other people. You need to have the right intentions basically. It can only come from within you. And to me, that I feel like only comes when you're a little older. Some people may have it when they're really young, mashallah. But
Yeah.
I feel like you won't be able to think about it logically enough until you're a little older, like at least your teens. So some people start really young, but if you do, that's even more beautiful. So, but I feel like the younger you start, I feel like the more from what I've seen, maybe I'm wrong, but from what I've seen, like the younger you start, the more people I realize they take it off. Like I
Makes sense.
realize that I don't see older people taking it off. I see the younger people taking it off because they may have, I mean, I guess it's all part of the journey. Like everyone has their own journey, but like basically what I'm saying is like I don't think you need to be at a certain point with your deen. I think like you do, but not meaning that you have to be perfect or you have to like be perfect with your prayers because again, hijabis like they're just humans. Like they're gonna make mistakes. They're not
Yeah.
always gonna be 100% with every single thing for the rest of their life. And I think that's such a big misconception for hijabis, like that people assume that they're so holy and like literally like I'm hijabi, so like it's just like I struggled just as much as I did before I even wore a hijab. So I think that's a but yeah, it's interesting to hear like you're like I understand your intention too. So yeah, I
I
get it.
think like wearing the hijab, like inshallah, when I wear it one day, I just want to be in the position where like I know like I just don't want to take it off. And like if you've taken it off, that's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
your decision with God. And I don't think, by the way, no one should be judging anybody for taking off the hijab. That's not your
Exactly.
right.
Or for putting it on. Like that has
Yeah,
to be their
like
own choice.
that's none of your business. Keep your opinions to yourself. We need to be uplifting each other, not degrading each
Exactly.
other. And that's the thing between, and that's something between Allah and that person.
Exactly. It's between God and you. So
Yeah, and
like
like, yeah,
for sure. And I think those type of people like they just pull them away from hijab even more. And I think it goes back to like hijabis can get a lot of criticism for like going back to how they're stereotyped into being perfect and seeming all holy and all this like when they're really not. Like there's a lot of like pressure put on them to be perfect. Like, oh, like why are you wearing skinny jeans? Why are you doing this? Like you're hijabi, and it's like I'm still human. Like, you know, like it's like you have.
And some people may not have enough knowledge to know some of that, you know? You never know the journey. They're
You
still
have
learning
to
along
have
their
your own. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I know there's. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I know there's like some people like believe that like there's a proper etiquette for like when you wear hijab, and I agree. Like, but I think it's so subjective. I think it's so different for everyone. Like, I think it's more like your intention and what you believe is the best for yourself. Like, some people may think like wearing hijab, like you also need to wear niqab, you also need to wear this, a burqa, or like you need to cover up. Some people may think that like you need to dress a certain way or be a certain way for when you wear hijab, and there's like a proper like etiquette for that, and I get that. And that's where culture comes back into this. From what I said previously on the first podcast, that like culture may intertwine a lot with that for religion. Like some people, like just based on where you're from, like some people may believe different things on how you need to wear hijab. Like I've noticed, okay, like for example, like I see Arabs, like they only are very they're only very insistent on covering every piece of their head. Like, they're more focused on every little hidden hair being hidden. So to me it's like what part is culture, what part is religion, like, you know. So I think it just goes with like back to you need to find it on your own and be able to make the best decision for yourself based on your intentions. So for sure.
I think also like but this is a different topic, like modern society. I think also society and the way people dress also make you feel pressure to like wear the same kind of clothes. Like, oh, this girl's wearing tights or whatever, I should wear tights. Like, and stuff. And I think all comes with that. But I think that comes with the challenge of our generation. Our generation, we, like I said, technology is advanced. There's so many influences and stuff. If it's not influencing you in the right way and you don't like it and it's not making you feel comfortable, don't feel like ashamed to like unfollow or anything, or just not look at that.
Like if it's not good for you. Like I know so many people who their brand is based off of them being hijabi, and they get a lot of criticism for, you know, like making hijab a fashion statement with the way they wear it. And this just goes back to all the same topics that like nobody can be judged for how they choose to wear it, and it has to be based on your intention. I believe like if you have the intention for it, like it's between you and Allah at the end of the day, you know, like nobody can take that away from you. So it's just people, in my opinion, just trying to get in the way of your relationship with Allah. That's it. But yeah,
just remember you're doing whatever you can to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that way, you know, in the hereafter, y'all BFFs.
Yeah, literally, exactly.
And that way, like you're
But I forgot what your question was.
It wasn't even a question. I was just talking about how like my friend, she just like respected, or she acknowledged the fact that like I'm more like I cover up a little bit more and like in different areas, and it was just like the sense of modesty. And I think modesty needs to be like, I mean, I know people that like don't necessarily wear the same things I wear, and like that's fine. I think at first it took me a minute, like a hot minute to like adjust to that, because I was like, we didn't grow up like that. How can
I know?
Oh, and it's so hard. Like that's one of the things I'm like, I don't want to judge, you know, like that's their personal experience.
And exactly. Everyone grows up differently.
Yeah. Everyone grows up differently, of course.
Like, everyone has their own sets of beliefs and values, have their own family rules, like they have their own life. So you can't, I think as a kid, like it's so shocking to see someone who's different than you in terms of religion and stuff. And it's like like I had a friend where we would always argue about not argue, just like I guess argue about certain topics, because she grew up differently as a Muslim, but we grew up the Desi way. But and I would try to like tell her like, oh no, it should be done this way, and she'd be like, oh, I don't know. Like for example, one of her things was maybe this is part of a certain region, I don't know, but when she prayed, she had to wear those, like, what's it called, like an abaya basically. She had to. And then she was like, you don't like wear abayas? And I was like, I mean, I'm covered. Like to me, it was like it's no big deal. Like usually, like everyone I see, like they'll just pray in their shirt and jeans, as long as they're covered.
Oh,
So
I've seen that like with the Arab culture and stuff.
Arab
Like
specifically.
they wear like they make sure it's loose.
Yeah, and it's specifically a skirt and like
Yes, yes,
something
yes,
on the
yes.
top.
I went to the masjid a few months ago with some people in my school, and like we were visiting the masjid together. And I thought what I was wearing was fine. I thought it was like loose enough, but she was like, "Oh, she's like, you probably just forgot your skirt. Like here, use my jacket to wrap around your legs." And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Oh," and I had me thinking, I was like, I need to like maybe just like wear a skirt and stuff, because maybe that's a good point.
Okay. I mean, like, so it's like to me, it's like, is that cultural? It sounds cultural because to
It
me,
does,
like,
but I think it also I mean, I think it could also go back to the fact that like maybe we shouldn't be wearing tight clothing that like
okay,
accentuates
that's a
our
different thing. Like,
skin and like the way our body is shown, like our body type, like the way it's like curved or like shaped, whatever, you
I
know what
know that though for sure. Like, I never do though, but I like wear my pajamas when I'm praying. Like, isn't
I
that
mean?
fine?
Yeah,
Like,
I do too.
like I don't necessarily have to put on a skirt, but like it's like like I'll just be wearing my normal clothes, and as long as because normally whatever I wear outside anyways, I can pray in. Like, like my shirt is long.
Yeah, my shirt's long too.
You know what I
So
mean? Like
I think for them it's like just not enough. I think you need to like
I
cover your
think it's
legs.
a cultural thing. I've never heard of it outside. Maybe I'm wrong, but um yeah, it's so interesting to me though. But yeah, that was like one of the things we would argue about. Not argue, but like we would just like debate about like, oh, like I'm so surprised you don't do that. And it's like, yeah, I've never heard of that. But then I kind of had to learn over time, like, yeah, not everyone is the same. And this kind of, I guess, a different topic goes on to like a different thing about like a lot of Muslims like they don't believe in eating zabiha, which can be a
Uh,
touchy subject. But I grew up eating zabiha, so it was like, oh, I mean, yeah, I grew up eating zabiha, so it was very surprising to me when other people didn't. So, so I had to get
yeah,
used to that there's a possibility of a world out there who doesn't, and I have to be okay with that because some people don't grow up with that. So, so
yeah.
for
Like, I
sure.
personally didn't grow up eating zabiha until like I had this conversation with fellow family members and stuff, and I made the decision like during my senior year of high school to eat zabiha for a year. But then it was more difficult when I entered college because I was away from home. I was on a meal plan, so I had to strip away from being zabiha,
Yeah.
like because I honestly had no choice. And
Yeah.
but like inshallah I do. I think it's something. It's like because of what I've talked to people about and stuff, and like it doesn't hurt if you. I mean, you never know if you don't try and like blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly. And
you
that's so
know,
respectful. Like I will say I have so much respect for you because it wasn't something you were born into, but you chose it. So go like how I said about Islam, like there has to be a part of you eventually where you need to do it for yourself instead of following whatever you were taught. Like you need to
yeah,
discover it for yourself. Like that was something I feel like you discovered for yourself and you chose to do it. And I really respect that. Mashallah.
right. And like, thank
Yeah.
you. I think like right now, what I'm trying, I keep forgetting though, because I'm like so used to it now. I'm not eating Zabiha currently, but I'm trying
Okay.
like I keep forgetting. I'm not even joking. I keep forgetting like when I eat out. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I keep forgetting not to get chicken because I'm home currently for winter break. So I'm like, oh, I'm eating Zabiha most of the time. I'm eating halal, but like outside, I keep forgetting like this isn't Zabiha. Like
Yeah.
trying to get into the habit where it's like I'm eating halal at home, but when I go out, if I have to eat it, I'll eat it. But if I have other choices, don't eat it. And I keep forgetting to do that because I'm so used
Yeah,
to
yeah. I mean,
it.
I think it's like you get used to it, It's a lifestyle,
Yeah,
so I
and
get
like
that.
that's something I want to get back onto, inshallah, because it's something I personally do believe in. For me,
Yeah,
it is a touchy subject for some people,
for
but
sure. I mean, I literally I know I can't have a say in terms of like I don't know what it's like to move out and have to experience that because I feel like I'd be in the same position. Like how would I survive on a meal plan with no meat? Like that would,
yeah, exactly.
you
And
know?
yeah,
Well,
and
I'm sure it's possible, but like how much can you really do? So
yeah, like
I
literally, I
don't know.
was like, I don't know what the heck I'm gonna eat.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
to be honest, I've always been super used to like how you were saying that you just kept forgetting. Like it's so funny because like for me, it was like I have such a habit of every time I go out to eat, I like immediately like skip over all the meat. Like I'm not even kidding. Like just fast forward to whatever salads, whatever like anything that's like I know is vegetarian or something. Like I just always forward to seafood or something. So it's like it's such a built-in thing for me. Like and it's crazy. Huh?
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I respect like I think I've gotten a lot more open-minded about the fact that yeah, like there's people who aren't like that, I don't think that makes them any less Muslim. I think they may they may have other things that they're better at than you. So
everyone's raised differently. Like seriously, I did not know Zabiha until like a few years ago when you guys
see that's another thing.
Yeah, like, I did not know that was a thing. I think I remember when I was a kid, we were at McDonald's and like I don't remember I told you about this and like your dad was driving us.
I told you this.
No, bro, I remember this.
And I told you this so many times.
Oh, well, maybe I didn't remember, but I remember it personally for me. But like, your dad, I think he was like, "Do you want a fish sandwich?" And I was like, "No, I'll get chicken."
Chicken? No, you said, "Can I have chicken nuggets?"
I didn't know what it was or anything, and like.
Yeah, see, and that's no one's fault. Like like that. I mean, that's not your fault, basically. Like, yeah, if they don't know, they don't know.
Yeah, and I know like a lot of people that don't eat Zabiha, like I really don't. And I know this one girl, at least she's like one of my friends at university, and like she's like personally hasn't, or she ate Zabiha all her life, but when she went to college, she had to like break away from that because it was so difficult.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like it just shows.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
that's
I mean,
really real.
I think in those situations, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he understands like where you're coming from. He understands what position you are in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but, exactly. You know?
Like I have no doubt in that. Like he knows where my heart is and stuff, and like that's all that matters to me. Like if he knows where my heart is, and
exactly back to intention.
All that matters, and I think people need to remember that. Who cares about what other people say? You need to be focusing on your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and care more about what he says rather than what other people say.
Exactly. For sure. Okay,
thank you
guys for tuning in, and we'll see you on our next podcast. Salaam.
Alaikum.